What if the thing you forgot was the only thing that could have saved you? From the time I was 6, I kept seeing the same blue car, not just once or twice, but everywhere that we moved a lot. Too much. By the time I turned 11, we'd lived in 5 different towns across 3 different states. New schools, new neighbors, but always, the same car, a faded navy blue sedan with rust along the bumper and a crooked antenna that never seemed to work. It would be parked down the street, or across from the park, or just far enough that it felt coincidental. But I knew better. I told my mom. She smiled like it was cute. You've got a big imagination, baby. But I wasn't imagining the man behind the wheel. He never got out. Just sat there, watching. One night, in our last house before middle school, I got brave that IT was late. I crept out while my parents were watching TV. I crossed the street, heart pounding so loud it drowned out the crickets that I got close enough to see his face, old, pale, sunken eyes, a scar across his jaw like something sharp had kissed it and left a mark that he didn't flinch, didn't move, just rolled the window down and said, "You shouldn't be out this late, kid." I ran out. I never told my parents that part. Didn't want to sound crazy, but I started noticing things. How mom flinched whenever a car backfired. How dad triple locked every door, even in safe suburbs. How neither of them ever talked about their past, especially dad. He had a shoebox in the attic filled with war photos. He never let me touch it, but one night when I was 15, I did. Inside, I found old black and white images from what looked like the Middle East. Soldiers posing with tanks, dusty streets, faces half shadowed by sun and fear. And there, faint, but unmistakable, was the man in the blue car. Younger, but unmistakable. Same scar, same hollow eyes. That I waited until I turned 20. I'd moved out by then. College. A little stronger, a little braver. I came home one weekend and sat across from my dad in the garage. That I showed him the photo. He didn't even pretend to be surprised, just sighed. Like a man who'd been carrying a secret for too long. "You weren't supposed to know," he said. "Years ago, when I was still a baby, Dad had testified against a man named Victor, an arms dealer who supplied weapons illegally to militants overseas. Dad had been part of a covert military unit that caught him red-handed. Victor had connections. Real ones. Deep ones. The kind that didn't forget. After Dad's testimony, people who spoke out started disappearing. One man's car exploded. Another vanished from a grocery store parking lot. The government assigned watchers to every surviving witness. The man in the blue car wasn't there to kill us. He was there to make sure no one else did. That I felt sick. Sick that my dad never told me. Sick that my childhood had been shaped by fear I wasn't even allowed to understand. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. His answer came slow, cracked. "Because I wanted you to have some years without looking over your shoulder." I should have hated him. Part of me did. For lying. For letting me feel insane for so many years. But part of me understood. Some betrayals aren't about malice. They're about protection twisted into silence. Still, I wasn't a kid anymore. And I wasn't going to live my life in the rear view. A month later, I approached the blue car. I knocked on the window. The same man. Older now. More fragile. But still sharp. That he looked up at me. Nodded. "You figured it out." "Yeah," I said. "And I'm done hiding." That was the last time I saw him. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe someone told him the kid in the house had finally become a man. Either way, the car never came back. But I still check the windows sometimes. Not out of fear. Out of habit. Because some ghosts don't haunt you. They guard you. Even when the truth stays buried, you get to choose when to dig it up. What if the thing you forgot was the only thing that could have saved you? What if the thing you forgot was the only thing that could have saved you?